Hey everyone, hi, welcome back to my channel. So this past summer, the summer of 2024, the New York Times put out their best 100 books of the 21st century, and it has caused a ripple effect. And so what I have for you today is that the Irish Times have their own version of the best books of the 21st century. And so they asked a bunch of experts who submitted up to, I think, 50 books, 50 titles. They ranked them. They had a panel fine-tune the list and the ordering, and then now we have this list. So I'm here to discuss the list with you. I think I want to keep two separate tallies. Poor editing Shelley is going to have a bit of a nightmare on her hands, but I want to rank the books that I have read. So I will leave that. I will have my rankings as I pass them up. I'm going to actually scoot over too so that there's more editing space, but I'll do that in the meat of the video. And I also want to have a to be read list going. Books that either this article has gotten me interested in or books that I have wanted to read, and then we'll kind of we'll go from there. So if you're new to my channel, just know that my name is Shelley, and I really love books and reading. And if you're enjoying the vibe, please subscribe. Now, without any further rambling on, let's go ahead and get into the meat of this video. Number 100 is Oh My God, What a Complete Aisling by Emer, McLysaght, and Sara Breen. This was first published in 2017. The novel came about in a weird way from Facebook. From a Facebook page sharing real-life examples of the quintessential country girl working in a big smoke or in a big town. So girl from a small town moves to big town and works. Number 99 is Surface by Sarah Gilmartin, first published in 2023. This is a new to me title. So it's set in a high-end Dublin restaurant told from the perspectives of the waitress, the chef, and the chef's wife. And it sounds like the chef is accused of sexual assault, and he doesn't want to lose everything over this accusation. Rather than a girl from a small town moving to a big town, we have Big Girl, Small Town by Michelle Gallen, which is number 98's book, first published in 2020. And it's a fictional town in the north, and the death of this woman's grandmother absolutely shatters our protagonist's existence, and she has to, continue life from that point. Number 97 is a collection of short stories entitled This Hostel Life by Melatu, Uche, Okorie, first published in 2018. Person from small town moves to big town must be a pretty common theme in contemporary Irish literature, because we have another one. It is called Snowflake by Louise Nelson, first published in 2021. It is about Debbie White, our protagonist, who is presented with a bunch of new challenges as she starts to attend Trinity College in Dublin, and she's from a dairy farm. So this is, or Nealon, it's not Nelson, it's Nealon. This is Nealon's debut novel. Number 95 is Fallen by Lia Mills, first published in 2014. It is set during the 1916 uprising, where a woman falls in love with a comrade of her twin brother who was killed on the Western Front. Number 94 is Nora by Nuala O'Connor, first published in 2021, a retelling of a love story between James Joyce and his wife and muse, Nora Barnacle. It's told from Barnacle's perspective as she struggles to balance her unwavering love for her Jim and rear her children and exist hand to mouth while Joyce pursues literary greatness. Number 93 is Rachel Again by Marian Keyes, first published in 2022. This is a sequel to Rachel's Holiday. It is supposed to be witty, compassionate, and has a deft touch. The first book to enter my list. Not that any of these don't sound good, they all sound good, but this one has been actively on my list. And so it is The Rachel Incident by Caroline O'Donoghue, first published in 2023. This was part of the BookTube Prize, which is a literary prize ran here on BookTube, and it made it quite a long way. So, and one of my friends read it, she enjoyed it. Anyways, this is about a story of two 20-something best friends screwing up and growing up together over a year in Cork City. I've just heard it's fast-paced, it's very readable, it's incredibly enjoyable. And I just remember hearing a lot of really positive reviews about it. Maybe two big themes are person moves from big town to little town or person moves from little town to big town. Anyways, number 91 is A Line Made by Walking by Sara Baume, first published in 2017. This is about a 25-year-old Frankie who quits her anxiety-ridden life where she is working at a gallery and living in Dublin to move home in her deceased grandmother's previous estate or home residence, and she's closer to her family. Frankie is, not the deceased grandmother. And now she's in the countryside where she encounters the beauty of the everyday. This sounds very much like a Shelley book, a me book, because I do like quiet, nature-esque novels. What a wonderful title. And it says it's a superb historical fiction. Okay, all of my spidey reading senses are flickering at this point. So it's called Havoc in its third year. Havoc in its third year. Havoc, in its third year by Ronan Bennett, first published in 2004. It was the winner of the Irish Novel of the Year, and it is set in civil war-torn 17th century England. A principal governor, discomforted by zealous Puritanism, hides his affection for his pregnant young wife's ward and refuses to convict a vagrant Irish woman. Again, this sounds like a Shelley book through and through. Number 89 is Beatlebone by Kevin Barry, first published in 2015. I read a different Kevin Barry book recently that was short, magical, and to the point. Now this book is set in 1978, following the maddened musical genius John Lennon, who flees fame in search of peace in the west of Ireland, and plot ensues from there. I am intrigued. That is intriguing. Maybe I should have a intriguing list as well. Another short story collection coming in at number 88, Multitudes by Lucy Caldwell, first published in 2016. And then number 87 is a book that I have read and I loved it. It was Actress by Enright, first published in 2020, which tells the story of a daughter named Nora who has a very complicated relationship with her mother, who was a stage star. Another book that I want to read, which is number 86, Unravelling Oliver by Liz Nugent, first published in 2014. This is about the elegant Oliver Ryan that has the perfect life in sharing a lovely home with his loyal wife, Alice, who illustrates an award-winning children's book that have brought him wealth and fame, until one evening Oliver savagely assaults his wife and leaves her for dead. Okay, I didn't quite know it was about that, but I knew I did want to read it. We're just going to leave it at that. A book that got quite a bit of buzz last year, which is Glorious Exploits by Ferdia Lennon. This is going to be set in 412 BC, and it's about Athenian prisoners and plays, but told in Irish dialect, which sounds utterly delightful. I have not read anything by Claire Kilroy, but I know she has her fans here on BookTube. Anyways, number 84 is one of her books, Tenderwire. This is about a New York-based violinist, Ava, who embarks on a chaotic and dangerous odyssey that involves leaving her partner and falling in love with a mysterious man. Another author that I've not read from, but seems to have her fans again on BookTube. So number 83 is Pond by Claire-Louise Bennett, first published in 2015. Oh, I didn't realize that this was a collection of short stories. 20 short stories written from the perspective of an unnamed woman. I had no idea. I've seen the cover around, but had no idea that was what Pond was about. A true crime book is next, which has me intrigued. It's called The Blue Tango by Eoin McNamee, first published in 2001, and it is number 82 on this list. It is following what they claim to be as one of the greatest miscarriages of justice in recent history. It is exploring a shadowy world of corruption and sexual intrigue. It's supposed to it's a darkly lyric narrative of false accusation and a savage murder over the tragic figure of a judge's daughter named Patricia Curran. Know nothing about this case, but it sounds incredibly intriguing. Another BookTube darling, Colm Tobin, and it is Colm's book, Nora Webster. This was first published in 2014 and number 81 on the list. It's set in the late 1960s in Ireland, and Nora Webster, our title character, is trying to rebuild her life and look after her 4 children after the death of her husband. A book I did not like. Ordinary Human Failings by Megan Nolan, first published in 2023, is number 80 on the list. And it is about a young girl is found dead, and the suspicions of the murder or this death fall on a reclusive Irish family who have immigrated here. And it's about the disadvantages of an immigrant family. It was not good. So, of the books I've ranked so far, this is on the bottom. Number 79 is A Long, Long Way by Sebastian Barry, first published in 2005. I read a different Barry book and really, really enjoyed it. A Long, Long Way is about Willie Dunn, who finds himself caught between the war playing out on foreign fields and the festering at home. Basically, as everything is about to explode with the 1916 uprising or rising. I might have been saying that wrong this whole time. The 1916 rising. A Long, Long Way was one of those books on my TBR even before I had read this list. Number 78 sounds like a coming-of-age story, but I can't quite parse it out. It is entitled The Thing About December by Donal Ryan, first published in 2013. This is about Johnsy, who's desperately trying to hold on to the familiar, even as he loses those who have in his life who have protected him from the harsh world. So holding on to reality during difficult circumstances. Again, kind of reads like a coming-of-age story. An edgy and profound novel entitled Hawthorne and Child by Keith Ridgway, first published in 2012. They say it's like Martin Amis-esque. I don't know who that is, so I'll just have to take their word for it. A book I really enjoyed, The Heart in Winter by Kevin Barry, which is about an Irish Westerner living in Montana in 1891. His name is Tom Rourke. He's got a boatload of problems and ends up falling in love with a woman named Polly, and basically the plot takes off from there. I really enjoyed this. In terms of ranking, it's going to go in between Ordinary Human Failings and Actress. I didn't like it more than Actress, but I liked it way, 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 way more than Ordinary Human Failings. Number 75 is another Liz Nugent book, and it is Strange Sally Diamond. This was first published in 2023. It is about a reclusive woman who, after her adoptive father dies, discovers the grim and harrowing story of her childhood that she does not remember. Okay, that sounds good. Maybe Liz Nugent is the author for me. The author I've been searching for my whole life. Number 74 is White City by Kevin Power, first published in 2021. This is about a rich son of the spoiled son of a rich Dublin banker who's cut off from his privilege and flounders through drugs and dead-end jobs until he finds an old school friend who cuts him in on a shady property deal abroad. No, no thank you. That's like nothing. Nothing I really enjoy reading about. Okay, not saying it's a bad book, it's probably amazing, but just not one that I'm interested in the least. A book that follows two fading Irish gangsters is coming in at number 73. Night Boat to Tangier by Kevin Barry, first published in 2019. Number 72 is The Alternatives by Coalin Hughes, first published in 2024, so a very new book. It's about four brilliant sisters orphaned in childhood and scramble to reconnect when the eldest disappears into the Irish countryside, fiercely witty, unexpectedly hopeful, and unashamedly intelligent. That sounds like a really good book, except it can't be pretentious. I can't do pretension. Tell me if it's pretentious or not, or if you have read it. Another small town book, number 71. It is Love in Summer by William Trevor. Young convent girl Ellie, who is married to a farmer still in mourning for his first wife, forms an illicit attachment to a stranger who arrives to her small town. It was apparently long listed for the Booker, probably back in 2009 or 2010. I don't know what this book is, but it's a Perosion by Colum McCann, first published in 2020. Honored by the Booker, consisting of 1001 short sections based on real life events. The two central figures are Rami and Bassam, an Israeli and Palestinian, who bond over the violent deaths of their respective daughters. Oh, interesting. Oh, a Claire Keegan book. Claire Keegan is another BookTube darling. I read Foster, and I'm actually currently reading Small Things Like These. This is entitled Walk the Blue Fields by Claire Keegan. This is number 69, first published in 2007. Oh, it's a collection of short stories. Again, the books that get talked about most here on BookTube by Keegan is Small Things Like These and Foster. Number 68 is The Narrow Land by Christine Dwyer Hickey, first published in 2019. It's inspired by the marriage of painters Joe and Edward Hopper, this novel of loneliness and regret, and the legacy of the Second World War and the American dream. Oh, it won the Walter Scott Prize. Okay, well, I like the themes. In this. It just depends on how it's executed, but apparently it won the Walter Scott Prize for historical fiction. Oh, another book I've read, The Colony by Audrey McGee, first published in 2022. This was longlisted for the Booker back in 2022, which is why I picked it up. It's about an artist, an English artist, and a French academic who go to this incredibly remote island in the 1970s, and they're both trying to capture something that is real. There's a lot of playfulness with language, some really interesting conversations about art, but ultimately didn't have the stick-to-itiveness that I would have thought it would have had. I hope that makes sense. Anyways, in terms of my ranking, it's going to go... It's still like miles above Ordinary Human Failings, but below The Heart in Winter. Number 66 is Long Island by Colm Tobin. It was first published in 2024. It is the sequel to his book Brooklyn that was written 20 years ago. Brooklyn was. And I think you're following similar characters. Because there is a prequel that I just feel like I have to read the prequel before reading Long Island. So I haven't picked it up, but I've heard really good things about it. Number 65 is Shadowplay by Joseph O'Connor. This is a fictional story of the origin of Dracula. So we have Bram Stoker as a character, as well as like Jack the Ripper and Oscar Wilde. Sounds like a lot. I mean, it could be a really good lot, but it sounds like a lot. A book that encompasses both sorrow and comedy is at number 64, and it's Show Them a Good Time by Nicole Flattery. This was first published in 2019. A book that is described as a masterclass in menace. I don't know what that means, but it is Winter Wood by Patrick McCabe, first published in 2006. A book of political intrigue, The Truth Commissioner by David Park, first published in 2008. This is a veteran Republican turned government minister, a retired RUC man, and a one-time activist who has fled to the U.S. Oh wait, and one more person, a commissioner, and they all attempt to come to terms with the horrors of the recent past in this multi-layered post-Troubles novel. Interesting. Number 61 actually sounds like a Shelley book, and it is Tatty by Christine Dwyer Hickey, who's showed up on the list before, first published in 2006, a funny but devastating account of a disturbed childhood and troubled, dark, damaged Dublin family, told through the lively, charismatic, brutally honest voice of the little girl, Tatty. Okay, that sounds good. Magical realism comes to Belfast with The Firestarters by Jan Carson, first published in 2019. Another Kevin Barry book, but it seems like it is a short story collection. It is called There Are Little Kingdoms, and this was first published in 2007, and it's coming in at number 57 on the list. Kevin Barry's short story collection is followed by Wendy Erskine's short story collection called Sweet Home, first published in 2019. Okay, a book that I desperately want to read. I just haven't read it yet, and it's At Swim, Two Boys by Jamie O'Neill, first published in 2001. It's one of those books that I own on my Kindle, and I would love to read. It is set before the 1916 Rising, as I have learned to say, and this is the story of two young men, Jim Mack and Doyler, and their friendship, which buds into love. I've heard it's incredible, an incredible book, and I definitely want to read it. It's at the tippy top of my TBR want to read list. A novel following father-son relationships entitled Traveling in a Strange Land by David Park, first published in 2018. A story about friendship and the legacy of the Troubles and the redemptive power of art comes in the form of Molly Fox's Birthday by Deidre Madden, first published in 2008. A book about the male psyche coming in at number 54 in the form of short stories. Here Are the Young Men by Rob Doyle, first published in 2014. Another book I own, but a physical copy. Actually, do I own? Yes. It is The Lesser Bohemians by Emer McBride, first published in 2016. This is number 53 on the list. And this is a love story about two damaged people that apparently is going to blow the readers away. It is about 18-year-old Irish drama student and an actor that's 20 years her senior. So a love story between that age gap. I don't know. I'm very intrigued by it. I might even want to read it as much as Two Boys at Swim. I might. I can't tell. I don't know. But it's up there. It's up there. Number 52 is The Little Red Chairs by Edna O'Brien, first published in 2015. A charismatic stranger from the Balkans who calls himself a faith healer arrives in a small West Coast Irish village and puts it under his spell. One woman becomes enthralled in a fatal attraction. Okay. I know Edna O'Brien, didn't she pass recently? I think she did. Anyways, so I know that her body of work has gotten a resurgence because of that event. The next book I heard about a long time ago from one of you all. It was on a video that I did where I interviewed people about their superlatives, and someone came on and told me about This is Happiness by Niall Williams, and I've wanted to read it ever since this was recommended to me. It is about it's about a small town in Ireland that doesn't have electricity and is going through the changes of updating and modernizing their town. And it's supposed to be really good, really thoughtful, really just a wonderful book. This was first published in 2019. At number 50, there's a short story collection that has an incredible title, and it's called Dinosaurs on Other Planets by Danielle McLaughlin, and this is first published in 2014. Number 49 is The Wren by Anne Enright, first published in 2023, and this is about a young woman and the complicated relationship she has with her father. Because I enjoyed actress so much. I've always been, curious about Enright's other books. A harrowing book comes in at number 48, Asking for It, by Louise O'Neill, first published in 2015, and it is about the sexual assault of a young woman by a gang of young men, and the aftermath that it caused in a small Irish community. Now, this is obviously tackling the topic of consent, but also the original audience for this book was young adult, and it was adapted into an award-winning play. A book about an Irish graduate teaching in Hong Kong who gets involved with an English banker and a local lawyer in Hong Kong, and it's called Exciting Times by Noah Dallin, first published in 2020. Number 46 is The End of the World is a Cul-de-sac. Great name. I think I like zany names, by Louise Kennedy. This is a short story collection. A short story collection. A writer I do not like, but is well loved by many other people. Number 45 is Intermezzo by Sally Rooney, first published in 2024. It is her fourth novel. We all know what Intermezzo is about. I'm skipping talking about it. Number 44 is a book that is part of a trilogy. It's the second book in a trilogy called Paula Spencer by Roddy Doyle, first published in 2006. It is a tender portrait of a recovering alcoholic coming to terms with grown-up children in a rapidly changing Ireland. The Sebastian Barry book I did read, which is at number 43, Days Without End, first published in 2016. It is about Thomas McNulty and John Cole, who are fighting for the U.S. Army, and their escapades and adventures while they do so. It was really, really, really good. Oh my goodness, the sound. Oh wait, I gotta rank this. I think I liked Days Without End more than The Heart in Winter, okay? Yeah, so it's going to be right under whatever, The Actress by Anne Enright. I still like Actress best. All right, next is The Heart's Invisible Furies, another book I read by John Boyne, first published in 2017. We're following a quiet, mild-mannered Cyril who's trying to figure out himself in a changing Ireland, and it is wonderful. It is just wonderful. I think that The Heart's Invisible Furies is going to be my new number one. I think so. I might regret that later, but I just love that book so much. It's definitely part coming of age story, part, you're following past that coming of age point and reckoning with your past and reckoning with life as you grow up and the mistakes that you made, and I love it. Okay, number 41 is Ghostlight by Joseph O'Connor, first published in 2010. It is an exquisite, delicate work of historical fiction based on a real-life love affair of Abbey Theatre actor Molly Allgood and playwright J.M. Singe, and its tragic ending. Okay, I'm gonna maybe I'm just excited because I talked about the John Boyne book, but I'm gonna put that on my now want to read because that sounds good. Number 40 is How to Build a Boat by Elaine Feeney, first published in 2023. This was long listed, I think, for one of the prizes, the Booker, and it is about a boy and his mission to transform the lives of his community. I heard very mixed things about it. Another Sally Rooney book, Conversations with Friends, comes in at number 39, first published in 2017. Sally Rooney doing her Sally Rooney thing. The next book is supposed to be a heartwarming book, I believe, and it's called Leonard and Hungry Paul by Ronan Hessian, first published in 2019. Two quiet friends that see the world differently and use humor, board games, and silence to steer through their modern life. I like this. And I knew about it. A friend told me about it before this list, so I'm going to put it on my official For This List TBR. Number 37 is Girl by Edna O'Brien, first published in 2019. I didn't realize that this book was so modern, but it's inspired by the brutal kidnapping of Nigerian schoolgirls and Islamist extremists, and how to survive a situation like that. Ghost in the Throat by Dorian Nigiriofa, first published in 2020. This is like essays, autofiction about, a poet, a contemporary female poet thinking about an Irish female poet in the 1700s. I didn't really like this book, but I'm going to put it above Ordinary Human Failings because I still think that was the worst. All right, next up, number 35 is Wild Houses by Colin Barrett. This was first published in 2024. This is about a teenage boy being held captive, and his girlfriend tries to rescue him. I don't know. I heard mixed reviews on it as my friends were reviewing it, because I trust booktuber reviews. So I just ended up skipping it. But I really like the goat with the X eyes. I really liked that. Prophet Song by Paul Lynch. This was, the winner of the Booker Prize. And it explores the rise of political extremism and the plight of refugees. It's not really one that I am drawn to. And I've, again, heard very mixed reviews about it. Number 33 is Close to Home by Michael McGee, first published in 2023. This is about Sean, and he is in post-ceasefire Belfast with a degree from Liverpool University. And it's about an outsider who's facing the school of hard knocks, as they say. Another Colin Barrett book. Is that right? Colin Barrett and Colin Barrett? Colin Barrett and Colin Barrett. Okay, I didn't know that Colin Barrett had written another thing. This is short stories set in a fictional town. It's called Young Skins by, obviously, Colin Barrett, first published in 2013. Number 31 is Solace by Belinda McKeon. This is going to be about a son's quarrel with his father and a story of family loyalties and family values and divided loyalties in pre-recession Ireland. Number 30 is Spill, Simmer, Falter, Wither. Oh, I like that. Wow. By Sarah Baume, first published in 2015. This is the story of a 57-year-old fugitive. His only comfort is a mutilated dog and a love for nature. Okay, this is going on my want to read list. The title alone makes it put it on the want to read list. The next, number 29, is Bad Day in Black Rock by Kevin Power, first published in 2008. This is loosely based on a real life fatal assault outside a nightclub, and the portrait of the graduates of Dublin's private schools. It was made into a film called What Richard Did. Number 28 is the story of Lucy Galt by William Trevor, first published in 2002. This is about Captain Galt, who has decided that his Protestant family must leave their big home in rural Cork while the country is in turmoil, and how 8-year-old Lucy can't bear to go, so she hatches a plan. Netherland by Joseph O'Neill, first published in 2008, is the story of life in New York and London after the World Trade Center fell. The Irish perspective on that could be really interesting. Another new to me title, The Glorious Heiresses by Lisa McInerty. First published in 2015. This is about a young drug dealer, Ryan, who navigates post-bailout Cork City and first love on the wrong side of the tracks. It's the first of a trilogy that has gotten a ton of accolades, like won the Women's Prize for Fiction. Wow, I didn't know about that. Okay, I'm adding that one to my list. Number 25 is Let the Great World Spin by Colin McCann, first published in 2009. It's about, based on real life events. So New York, 1974, when a tightrope walker walks in between the Twin Towers. I've read about that account before, but sounds like it's a fictional version of it and using those events to be the catalyst to the story. Number 24 is Academy Street by Mary Costello, first published in 2014. Tess grows up shy and introverted in the west of Ireland, but comes into her own after immigrating to New York in the 1960s. Again, I quite like Irish takes on other countries, especially my own. Number 23 is The City of Baume by Kevin Barry. Kevin Barry yet again. I didn't know Kevin Barry was such a well-known author in Ireland. My first book, again, I read very, very recently. So this book was published in 2012, and it is Barry's debut novel that conjures up an entire city with its own dialect, fashions, and feuds. Wow, that sounds great. Next up is The Bee Sting by Paul Murray, which talks about the collapse of a family, and the catalyst to the collapse is the financial pressure they're feeling. A family that used to have quite a bit of wealth, but is now no more. Like, their wealth is dwindling, and the pressure that comes out, it's like all of everything that was wrong with this family is now crumbling under this pressure. It was so good. The Bee Sting is definitely my number one book now. I love it so much. I love that book so much. And I know I'm in the minority, because not the minority, but I know that some people would disagree with me. The next book is The Green Road by Anne Enright, which I actually own. And it is spanning 1980 to 2005. It takes the staples of an Irish novel and makes them her own. That's what I'll say on it. It has very low ratings on Goodreads, and so it worries me, but it's very high up on this list. It's number 21. All right, the next is Star of the Sea. I guess I should put that on my TBR. Not The Star of the Sea, but The Green Road, because I do own it. So technically I do want to read it, because that's how it works, right? If you own it, you want to read it. Of course it's true. All right, the next book is The Star of the Sea by Joseph O'Connor, first published in 2002. It is set in 1847. The Star of the Sea sets sail for New York from famine-ravaged Ireland. On board there are hundreds of refugees, and but a killer is stalking the decks. Oh, a killer is... Okay, now I want to read this. Want to read, not to be read. It's want to read. Gotta have a difference there. There's not that much of a difference. Want to read is just I learned about it in this moment, and so I'm just going to put it on my mental wish list. Number 19 is a book that I read, Normal People, first published in 2018, about a couple of high schoolers who fall in love and their love story, which I am going to put right above Ordinary Human Failings, because Ordinary Human Failings was still the worst, okay? All right. Oh, a book that is connected to a book that I've read, The Secret Scripture by Sebastian Barry, first published in 2008. It is about a different McNulty that I read about in Days Without End. I think their daughter, Roseanne McNulty, but I'm not really sure. And it's about her story. We're following her as she lives in the 20th century, maybe in the U.S.? Anyways, but yeah, connected to Days Without End, but not necessarily a direct sequel. Another Colm Tóibín book, The Master, first written in 2004. 19th century writer Henry James is heartbroken when his first play performs poorly, in contrast to Oscar Wilde's The Importance of Being Earnest. Interesting. Now, The Secret Scripture, I'll just go back to that real quick, is on my want to be read. Like, I already knew about it and wanted to read it because I like Sebastian Barry. The Master, we're going to leave there. Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell, first published in 2020, which it gives us the portrait of Shakespeare's family, even though Shakespeare is never mentioned. That has been on my TBR. I might even own it on my Kindle, and I just still haven't read it yet. Skippy Dies by Paul Murray, another Paul Murray book. Yes, 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 1,000 times yes. It's about Skippy is a 14-year-old, nicknamed for his prominent teeth. And I think it's like a coming-of-age story with a friend group and a very controversial ending, which I'm all about. Ooh, oh gosh, see, the TBR just grows, because the next book is A Girl is a Half-Formed Thing by Emer McBride, first published in 2013. It is a debut about a young woman who has insights about her brutal life. Anyways, it's like, I have that overwhelming feeling that Emer McBride is for me, that her weird, wonderful, amazing style is for me. So it's going on the TBR, and you cannot argue with me about it. Next up is Brooklyn by Colm Tóibín, first published in 2009, which is about Elias Lacey, who leaves a small town in the 1950s Ireland to live abroad. I'm guessing to New York, but in the 1950s. I'm not sure how I feel about Colm Tóibín. I'm not sure if I'd like his writing. I don't know. Anyways, another book that I do want to read, which is Soldier Sailor by Claire Kilroy. The comeback novel, it's about new motherhood, and it's told in this stream of consciousness style, which is one that I've definitely wanted to read. Okay, now a book that I don't know. Number 11, Midwinter Break by Bernard McLysaght, first published in 2017. It is about a long married couple, Stella and Jerry, who are on a 4-day break in Amsterdam and have been together a long time. Okay. And that sounds boring, but maybe it's executed really, really well. Top 10, The Sea by John Banville, first published in 2005. This is about Max Mortem, an art historian whose wife's death has shattered art illusions, and returns to the seaside of an Irish village where he used to spend his childhood as he's grappling from his recent loss and confronts distant trauma. Sounds fine. Then Room by Emma Donoghue, which is, it's based on, I think it's inspired by a real event that happened, I think, in the US. Anyways, it's about a woman who is in captivity. She's taken advantage of and put into a room, and so the little girl, that woman who is being forced to stay in this space against her will, has a child, and the growing up conditions of that child. I don't know. I've always been like, I don't know if I want to read it. Number 8 is The Gathering by Anne Enright. Winner of the Booker Prize. It's a fresh, sophisticated take on a dysfunctional Irish family, which is apparently her specialty. I do want to read more Anne Enright. I just don't know exactly where to start. Maybe I'll start with The Gathering since I already own it. Another Donald Ryan book. It comes in at number 7, which is The Spinning Heart, first published in 2012. This is set in a very small town, and it's after the aftermath of the Celtic Tiger collapse. Each chapter is told from the perspective of a different character. Interesting. Maybe I'll put this one on my want to read. I mean, want to read could grow as long as we want it, right? Then we have Trespasses by Louise Kennedy, which is one of my dear friend's favorite books. She really loved this book. It was first published in 2002. Got a little hullabaloo because of the Women's Prize. It is about a teacher that is falling in love with a Catholic teacher that falls in love with a younger person, a younger Protestant person, maybe, set during the Troubles. So, one that, I don't know, it's like it kind of came and went, and I feel like the moment is gone for me, and I've not thought about it much since. Anyways, number 5 is Foster by Claire Keegan. This is a short little story about a young girl who is rehomed for a little while with a couple that really gives her exactly what she needs. It's a heartwarming and beautiful story. I've read this. Let me see, where does it fall? I'm going to put it right underneath The Heart in Winter by Kevin Barry because I liked it, but I didn't love it. I'm not one of those like, I love it so much. Okay, number 5 and number 4 are both Claire Keegan. How is that possible? That is Small Things Like These, first published in 2021. Yeah, I don't know. It's about a father with 4 girls. I've just started this in a small town, and I think appreciating the little things in life. So I'm currently reading that. Number 3 is Solar Bones by Mike McCormick, first published in 2016. This is, I guess, maybe these all were fiction, because where is Say Anything? Anyways, we're not going to talk about that. Okay, so the Solar Bones is Marcus Conway, a recently deceased mayor engineer, roams his empty house on All Souls Day, reflecting on his life. Ooh, so a little bit of the supernatural in that one. Number 2 is That They May Face the Rising Sun by John McGarren, first published in 2002. This is the portrait of a life in the lakeside community and the celebration and meditation on rural life in his native country. Okay, well, that does sound beautiful. That does sound beautiful. Now, number 1 is Milkman by Anna Burns. Now, this is a banger of a book. First published in 2018. It's told in like this stream of consciousness, like sort of floaty style. And the way she tells the story is about, she like names herself middle sister. There's older sister, oldest sister, the little sisters, oldest sister's husband, middle sister. I mean, it's just, that's how it's told. But it really is a look at the Troubles and the way the Troubles affects especially a young woman and her future. And the way that, I don't know, lies and rumors and things get out of control and small town gossip, it is fantastic. I don't know. I think I'm still going to I'm going to put it right underneath. I'm going to put it right underneath the Heart's Invisible Furies. So my final ranking is right here. I'm going to leave it for you. Top is Paul Murray's The Bee Sting, and the bottom is Ordinary Human Failings by Megan Nolan, and all of the books in between. Let me know if you've read any of these books. Thank you for hanging out. I really appreciate you. I really needed this, to be honest. And just really appreciate your time. Here's all the books that are on my want to read list. And then here are all the books on my TBR, so that you have all of it here, right there. And yeah, that's it for me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And I hope to see you all in my next one. Bye.